So let's move on to the code. As I said before, we put the code into our npm package, so that we don't have to create a bunch of repositories. This way you can download it and try it out for yourself. The first thing we will do is create a new branch called LiqPay. Now let's create a new LiqPay service. This will be a class with the same name. Looking ahead, there will be three methods here: creating a payment form, canceling a subscription, and processing payment status. You will add other necessary methods depending on your needs. Don't forget to add the import of the new class to the index.ts file. Let's start with the first method, creating a form for customer payment. This method will accept certain options that we will define in the process of writing and return us a string and HTML form. For more convenient interaction with dates, install datefns. From this package, we get the format method. Next, you need to determine the date from which you want to subscribe. At this stage, we can already generate the data that will be included in the payment form. This is all specified in the official documentation. Let's go through the steps quickly. You will find the public key in your account after registration. We put it in the environment variables. Action we will receive in the parameters. We have already determined the starting date, payment frequency, payment amount, currency, description, and order ID, also known as an invoice, will also be received in the parameters. Server URL. This is your endpoint, let's say your webhook, to which the LiqPay service will send the payment status for this payment form. It is also included in the environment variables, a piece of string so you can see what's there, base URL and endpoint. And now we come to the most interesting part. With the following items I had to sit a bit, comparing the data I received in the code with what the online form in the documentation gives out. Convert our data to the base64 format. Import the crypto module. It is built in new versions of Node. Create a hash. Create a signature. The signature contains base64 data and your private keys, which you can also find in your account. Now we can create an HTML form, and don't forget to add it to the return of this method. We also put the title for the button in the options. As a result, we get a form, but for the user it will look like a button, since the rest of the form fields are hidden. The only thing left to do is to create full proofing and specify the types of parameters that this method receives. We will have an interface called subscription payment form params, and now we will write it in details. Copy all our options to this interface. Action. There will be two actions, subscription and unsubscription. In order for users to use these actions correctly, we will create a corresponding enum. The frequency of debiting funds. The documentation says that two parameters are supported, so we also use enum. The price is of the type number. Currency. LiqPay supports 3 currencies, so we are doing enum. A description is a description that the customer will see when paying for what exactly they are paying for. String type. Order ID is also known as an invoice. You create it yourself, and it is important that it is unique. You cannot pay twice for the same order ID. Accordingly, you will have to store them in your database in order to manage and reconcile payments. String type. Button title is a title on a button. String. As a result, we have written all the parameters for this method. The TypeScript will validate what the user is sending and how, and we can sleep easy. Next, let's organize the README file in a better way. For now, I'll be releasing information in small batches so that I can deliver it to you more often. We'll push this all on the GitHub. The link, as always, is in the video description. Now we need to publish the updated package to npm. As I showed earlier, we export the token, build the build, and publish it. The final touch, I'll show you how convenient it is to work with your personal npm packages in different projects. Let's install this package in the required project. Import LiqPay service, create a new method that will create a valid payment form for us. Since we have typed everything, when we hover over the options, we immediately get a hint of what parameters this method expects. To tell you the truth, you can do the same thing without a TypeScript. At the same time, we have exported the types and we can use them in this project. That is, there is no need to fancy anything, just import and use. And of course, we get dynamic parameters from above. Here it is your task to think about how and where they will come from, database structure and relationships. That's basically it. This method will return to the front the string, which is essentially an HTML link that we simply render in the desired place on your website. Come again, it will be interesting.